Alright, so I just left the meeting with the OLCC executive director. Just fantastic meeting. It's about an hour and a half of really going over all that's entailed with the operations of the OLCC, and it's really so extensive. When I originally walked into the office here, and when I originally got to the state of Oregon and started dealing with the liquor commissions, one of the things that I had looked at was just looking at them as a regulatory commission, and just the scope of what all goes into from the beginning to the end for this this body is just enormous. So I'll catch everybody up later. Okay, let's talk about the Oregon Liquor Commission here. I just want to let everybody know first off that every city, state, and county all over the United States has some kind of an enforcement board or a liquor control commission. So it's not like they're particularly hard on anyone, or they're here to make sure that you're doing what you are, or there's any favoritism or anybody's going after anybody in particular. It's like this all over the country. If you screw up and let underage people in your bar, they're going to come after you. If you have an excessive amount of drunk people causing problems, they're going to come after you. If you have a lot of fights, they're going to come after you. Be it Arizona, be it Las Vegas, be it anywhere in the whole country, all right? It's going to raise flags. They're going to come after you. So let's go back to what the OLCC and what the entire gamut of what they have to do. And this is something, I had a long meeting with Mr. Farrell, and I learned a lot. And I had the opportunity to find out what they do from beginning to end. And a lot of people don't realize that the OLCC is in charge of procurement of all the products that you sell here, all the liquor products, not the beer, but all of the liquor products. They then are in charge of distributing all of these liquor products all over the state of Oregon. Then they're in charge of the licensing of all the venues in Oregon. Then they're in charge of the enforcement of the laws and rules and regulations of those venues that they license. Then on top of that, they're in charge and they're responsible for basic general public safety of the patrons in the venues and the patrons in the nearby area that are affected by the bars and everybody that uses their products. And at the very end of all that, this government body has to be a profitable business. So there's a lot that people don't understand or misunderstand or are misinformed about. And one of the things I think is important is maybe when people are going in for their liquor licenses, there needs to be a little more education on the side of the OLCC where they're coming up and they're saying, listen, we have to do all of this. We're no different other than the business side of this, but in the enforcement side and the licensing side, we're no different than anybody in any other state. All right? We're just trying to help businesses, and some of my big arguments here is that licenses are way too cheap. I feel that licensing is too easy to get and far too cheap. I think that they have a great program right now that they're working on. The program they're working on is really beneficial to people who operate a good, clean business, and that's something that I really like to see, and I'm excited to see coming out of the OLCC. Some of the other things are that the people. A lot of times, bar owners or operators or club owners or operators only have a chance to really interact with the liquor agencies all over the country when they come in and they're writing you a ticket, all right? And this is something where everyone all over the country really needs to be proactive. You need to go out and call them. If you have an issue, call them. If you have a question, email them. These are state agencies. These are people who are paid for by tax dollars in the end, and it's really important that you, as a business owner, utilize this mechanism that you've been given. One of the first things I did when I got to the state of Oregon is I went down and I set up an appointment. And I walked in there and I got free time to sit down and ask all my questions, ask about the important things like, if I put my venue here, if I do this kind of venue, what do you think about this, what do you think about this, and I really was able to go ahead and make it a lot easier transition for me to get a liquor license. A lot of people don't use this, all right? In a lot of states, it's really highly recommended that you get an attorney to get a liquor license. In the state of Oregon, because I'd got liquor licenses before, it was easy and I did it all myself, all right? One of the things I recommend that the Liquor Commission here do, because it's such a proactive state, is just have a small thing where you can set up an appointment, go in, have 20 minutes of their time, ask the questions you need to do. This will help expedite anybody getting their license here in Oregon, all right? One of the other things, I think that everybody should take a trip and set up an appointment to go down and just walk through the operation. and see all that they've got going on. They have a lot of stuff going on. They have a lot of great people working down there, from stockers, from people who are delivering the alcohol, from people who are helping to maintain the laws and the changes and all. There's so many laws that go along with liquor licensing in every state, and there's so much manpower that's needed behind this big organization. As for businesses that are here that are having issues, you know, this goes back to taking ownership and taking a pride in what you do. And you know, a lot of businesses have been here a long time, and a lot of businesses have opened and closed quickly, or gone on to be very successful and very profitable businesses, and this happens in every market. And I feel a lot of times this goes hand in hand with ownership. It starts from the top down, and I really feel that taking pride in ownership of your venue is number one. All right? And when you're taking pride in ownership of your venue, it's taking responsibility. I'm responsible for my patrons from the time they hit my door to the time they go home, to make sure that they have a safe time, a good time, and a good and safe environment. All right? And that's really all I can hope to. I'm hoping to get a couple interviews with some people down at the Oregon Liquor Commission to just really show that it's just regular people down there doing the best that they really can under an extremely difficult operation that they are trying to perform every day. That's it.